What if I told you that the $50,000 Birkin bag on your vision board has a story that nobody wants you to know? What if I told you that behind that aspirational Instagram post of your favorite celebrity with 5 Birkins is a trail of exploitation that goes deeper than you think? Today, we're not just talking about why we want these bags. We're talking about what actually happens to get you that bag. The labor, the manipulation, the social engineering, the literal human cost. And sis, when I tell you this rabbit hole is dark, I need you to buckle up, because once you see what I'm about to show you, you might never look at a Birkin the same way again. Here's what we're uncovering today: the exploitative labor practices behind luxury manufacturing, the psychological manipulation tactics Hermes uses to make you feel unworthy, and the sinister reason why these brands specifically target Black women. This isn't just tea, this is the whole damn kettle. If you're ready for the truth, hit that like button and let's get into it. Let's start with how your Birkin is actually made, because Hermes has done an incredible job selling you a fairy tale about French artisans lovingly handcrafting bags in Parisian ateliers. And sure, some bags are made in France, but here's what they don't tell you. Recent investigations exposed that luxury brands, including Dior and Armani, were using Chinese factories with horrific working conditions. Workers making bags for $57 that sell for $2,800. Workers in facilities that violated labor laws. Workers who were underpaid, overworked, and exploited. And before you say, well, Hermes is different, is it though? Hermes outsources significant portions of their production. Even their French-made bags often use leather that comes from developing countries where regulations are, let's just say, flexible. That Birkin you're saving for, it might have cost someone their health, their safety, maybe even their life. And Hermes knows this, they all know this, but they've calculated that you caring more about the status symbol than the human cost is a safe bet. Now let's talk about something even more insidious: the psychological warfare Hermes wages on its customers. You know how you can't just walk into Hermes and buy a Birkin, right? You have to build a relationship with the store. You have to spend thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, on scarves, belts, shoes, and other items you don't even want. You have to prove you're worthy of giving them $30,000. Let me say that again slower. You have to prove you're worthy of giving them your money. This is not customer service. This is a cult initiation. Hermes has literally created a system where you feel grateful to them for taking your money. They've flipped the entire consumer relationship on its head, and it's brilliant. Evil, but brilliant. They've weaponized scarcity. They manufacture exclusivity. They create artificial demand by making you feel like you're not good enough until they deem you acceptable. And who do you think this affects most? Women. Specifically, women who are already dealing with societal messages that they're not enough. Women who've been told they need to prove their worth. Women who've been conditioned to seek external validation. They're exploiting your insecurities and making you pay for the privilege. The sales associates are trained to make you feel small, to make you feel like you should be thankful they're even acknowledging you. There are literal stories of women being told they're not Birkin material, or being sized up the moment they walk in. And if you're a Black woman, the stories I could tell you about the discrimination, the profiling, the assumptions made about whether you can actually afford to be in that store. They're making you jump through hoops because they know that the harder something is to get, the more you'll want it. It's basic psychology. And they're using it to manipulate you into spending money you might not even have. Now let's talk about something that's going to make some of you uncomfortable. Hermes and other luxury brands specifically target Black women because they know we're vulnerable to their messaging. And before you come for me, hear me out. Studies show that Black consumers spend 9 times more on luxury goods than white consumers at the same income level. Luxury brands know this. They study this, they exploit this, they know our history. They know about slavery, Jim Crow, systematic oppression, generational poverty. They know that many of us are first-generation wealth or aspiring to wealth. They know we're trying to prove something to ourselves, to our community, to a society that's told us we're not good enough. And they weaponize that knowledge. They put Birkins in hip-hop videos because they know we're watching. They give them to Black celebrities because they know we're paying attention. They create this aspirational image because they know we're striving. Cardi B gets 5 Birkins, and suddenly every black girl in America has that on her vision board. That's not an accident. That's strategy. And here's the really sinister part. While they're taking our money, they're discriminating against us in their stores. And there are countless stories of black women being followed around Hermes stores, being told items are sold out that suddenly become available when a white customer asks, being made to feel unwelcome in spaces they have every right and every dollar to be in. Oprah was once told a bag was too expensive for her in a Zurich store. If it can happen to Oprah, it's definitely happening to you. They want your money, but they don't want you. They want you to aspire to their products, but they don't respect you as a customer. And somehow we keep coming back. We keep spending. We keep trying to prove we belong in spaces that were never designed to welcome us. It's exploitation with a designer label. Now let's talk about how they've convinced you that a Birkin is an investment. You've heard it before. Birkins appreciate in value. They're better than stocks. It's a smart financial move. Is it though? Yes, some Birkins appreciate. Rare colors, exotic skins, pristine condition bags from decades ago. But your standard leather Birkin that you bought retail, the one you're actually using, that's not appreciating. That's depreciating the moment you walk it out of the store. And even if it does appreciate, you know who's really making money? The resale market, the authentication services, the consignment stores taking 20% commission. They've created an entire secondary economy that extracts even more money from our community. And here's the trap. You buy a Birkin for $30,000. You use it for a year. You need cash, so you try to sell it. Best case scenario, you get $35,000. You think you made $5,000 profit. But did you? After authentication fees, consignment fees, and accounting for inflation, you basically broke even. And that's if you can sell it. Meanwhile, that $30,000 invested in the stock market for 1 year with a conservative 10% return would have given you $3,000 with zero effort. Over 10 years, that $30,000 becomes $77,812. But nobody's rapping about index funds, are they? The investment narrative is just another manipulation tactic to make you feel smart about a dumb financial decision. Let's talk about what happens after you get the Birkin, because they don't tell you about this part. You save for years, you jump through all the hoops, you finally get your bag, you post it on Instagram, you get your likes and comments, everyone tells you you've made it. And then what? You wake up the next day and you still have the same life, the same problems, the same insecurities, but now you have this $30,000 bag that you're terrified to use because what if it gets damaged? What if someone steals it? So you keep it in the dust bag, in your closet, or worse, you do use it, and suddenly you need another one because one Birkin isn't enough anymore. Now you need the collection, the different sizes, the different colors, and the goalpost keeps moving. And this is what luxury brands do. They create a hunger that can never be satisfied because the satisfaction isn't in the bag itself. It's in the pursuit. It's in the validation. It's in the status. And once you have it, you need something else to chase. I've seen women with closets full of Birkins who are still anxious about their status, still worried about keeping up, still feeling like they need more to prove their worth, because the bag can't give you what you're actually looking for: self-worth, security, belonging. Those things have to come from inside, but Hermes doesn't make money if you figure that out. Here's the darkest part of all this. Luxury brands have created a psychological prison, and we're paying for our own selves. They've convinced you that you're not successful until you have their product, that you haven't made it until they validate you, that your worth as a woman, as a successful person, is tied to whether you can access their exclusive club. And the most insidious part, they've made you complicit in your own exploitation. You're working extra hours to save for the bag. You're going into debt. You're making financial sacrifices. And you thank them for the opportunity. You're grateful when they finally deem you worthy. You're excited when you get the bag. You feel accomplished. But really, you've just given tens of thousands of dollars to a company that sees you as a status-anxious mark, a company that profits from your insecurity, a company that wouldn't let you in their stores 50 years ago and barely tolerates you now, and you're calling it success. This is what psychological manipulation looks like. They've made the cage so beautiful that you don't realize you're trapped. So how do we break free? First, we wake up. We educate ourselves about what's really happening. We understand that luxury brands are not our friends. They're corporations designed to extract maximum profit from us. Second, we redefine success. Success is not a bag. Success is financial freedom, security, options, peace of mind, generational wealth. Third, we redirect our energy. Channel that same dedication you would put into getting a Birkin into building actual wealth, starting a business, investing, creating something that lasts. Fourth, we support each other in making different choices. Stop celebrating the bag purchases like they're achievements. Start celebrating the wealth building, the business launches, the investment milestones. And fifth, and this is crucial, we do the internal work to heal the wounds that make us vulnerable to this manipulation in the first place. If you need a Birkin to feel successful, that's a therapy issue, not a shopping issue. If you need luxury brands to validate your worth, that's a self-esteem issue that no bag can fix. If you're trying to prove something to people who don't care about you, that's a boundary issue. The bag is just a symptom. The disease is the systematic psychological programming that tells us we're not enough without external validation. You want to know what real luxury is? Real luxury is not having debt. Real luxury is having 6 months of expenses saved. Real luxury is owning assets that generate passive income. Real luxury is being able to say no to a job that doesn't serve you because you have options. Real luxury is leaving your children an inheritance instead of debt. Real luxury is sleeping peacefully at night because you're financially secure. That's luxury, not a bag made by exploited workers using leather from tortured animals, sold by a company that barely respects you, that you can't afford, that won't solve any of your real problems. And here's what's beautiful about actual wealth. It gives you the option to buy the Birkin if you want it, but you won't need it anymore. When you have real financial security, real wealth, real self-esteem, the Birkin becomes what it always was, just a bag, and not a goal, not a dream, not a measure of your worth, just a bag. Look, I know this was heavy. I know I took you to some dark places, and I know some of you are sitting there feeling some type of way about that bag you've been saving for. Good. Sit with that discomfort, because that discomfort is the sound of your consciousness waking up. The dark side of Birkin bags isn't just about labor exploitation or environmental destruction or discriminatory practices, though all of that is real and documented. The dark side is what these bags represent, a system designed to keep us chasing external validation instead of building internal worth, a system designed to extract wealth from communities that can least afford it, a system designed to make us complicit in our own exploitation. And the darkest part of all, we've been convinced to celebrate it, to aspire to it, to see it as success. But now you know, and you can't unknow. So the question is, what are you going to do with this information? Are you still going to save for that Birkin? That's your choice. I'm not here to judge, but make it a conscious choice. Make it with full awareness of what that bag really costs. Not just in dollars, but in human dignity, environmental health, and your own financial future. Make it knowing that you're playing a game that was rigged against you from the start, or make a different choice. Choose to invest in yourself in ways that actually matter. Choose to build wealth instead of the appearance of wealth. Choose to define success on your own terms instead of Hermes terms. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button and share it, because this is information they don't want spreading. Drop a comment and tell me, did you know about any of this? Has this changed how you see luxury brands? Let's have a real conversation. Subscribe, because we're going to keep pulling back the curtain on things that everyone accepts but nobody questions. And remember, you are not what you carry. You are not what you wear. You are not what luxury brands say you are. You are inherently valuable. You are inherently worthy. You don't need a $50,000 bag to prove that. The only person who needs to believe in your worth is you. Until next time, stay woke, protect your peace, and invest in your real future. Peace.